I'm gonna give you a perfect leg workout to make you more explosive for wrestling, and we're gonna start right. Okay, so when we're looking at a wrestling split, one of the big factors that I like to think through is that one, we're dealing with sport depth. 3, so we have combat athletes that need to be explosive, they need to be strong, they have to have good balance, which is why I'm warming up with some PVC pipes with a plate overhead. You should probably use a bumper plate so you don't drop a metal plate on your dome. Now, when I think about the 7 different All-Americans that we've developed over the last 3 years at South Dakota State, some of the big aspects is 1, we have to get stronger. 2, we've got to help you guys increase your endurance. 3, we really need to increase our explosiveness. So we're gonna do different lifts, we're gonna do different types of movements. That's good, Lincoln, now you go switch here. We need to do different types of patterns that will help improve your performance on the mat, okay? So the biggest takeaways that you're gonna get out of this specific video is 1, you're gonna get a wrestling split. You're gonna learn how to set up a 3-day split. 2, you're gonna get an explosive workout that you can use today as a wrestler as you go out into your training session, okay? And then 3, what you're gonna learn is some different exercises that will transfer phenomenally to make you a really well-balanced wrestler. So we're going through this warm-up. We hit those PVC pipes there. I like doing split squats here. This is inside of our strength training app, Peak Strength. So inside of Peak Strength, we're using a program that is designed for wrestlers. So when we helped develop Nick Wazowski, who was a 2-time world bronze medalist while he was training with Garage Strength, what we did is almost exactly what you guys are gonna get here, okay? So we do things like this. We're gonna warm up with a split stance here. We want that heel elevated, and we can go to a T-spine rotation here to help improve that trunk control. Wow, that feels really good. So this is gonna be that warm up. We wanna do some complex exercises that are hard to do, but they won't make us really fatigued. Now, the next movement, so we go PVC pipe, split stance here. Next exercise I wanna do, I'm gonna put my feet in here. I actually was just thinking next weekend, I'm gonna see 2 of my South Dakota State wrestlers who are actually representing Team USA at Junior Pan Ams in Paraguay. We're gonna go here, come up, here, come up, okay? And when I come up here, what's interesting is I can feel through that left hip some nice stability, all through that posterior chain. So we've got to make sure that as a wrestler, we're warming up the posterior chain. We're trying to warm up through balance, which is why we do a lot of single leg work, and also through that PVC pipe work, because that's going to help wake up the nervous system. Do this 3 to 4 times. Okay, it should take about 10 to 12 minutes. Lincoln, you get in here. Do 5 on each leg. This should take you about 10 to 12 minutes. And then we're gonna get into the actual workout. And when we get into the actual workout, I'll give you the split before I give you that first exercise. You can even see there, actually, right there, it's like just the fact that Lincoln hopped a little bit, came off balance. This is great for waking up the hips, okay, to help you have a little bit more pop when you change a level. I just did a podcast with Stu McMillan, world-class sprint coach, and he was actually talking about knee behind the butt, knee behind the butt. And I think a lot of athletes in sports outside of track don't really focus on things like this because they don't really think about it as far as locomotion is concerned or as far as projection is concerned. And as a wrestler, you might be changing your level, and then that glute, the knee is going to be behind the glute as you project forward into that penetration step. Okay, so it's like a penetration step into that shot. So warming up the hips and the glutes helps you extend them rapidly with more stability through your opponent. So this is a great warm-up to hit. 3 exercises through this, and then we're going to get into that first exercise. So I'm old and heavy. I'm just old. Now, this exercise, which I wanted Lincoln to do, and I would do off camera, is gonna be absolutely fantastic for wrestlers because they tend to be a little bit more rotated internally here with their thoracic spine. And because of the nature of the next exercise and the way that wrestlers wrestle with that upper back, I really, oh my God, really like to work on the thoracic extension with a yoga wheel. Holy moly. and this will help hit deeper positions overhead. Oh, my cobwebs are just blowing out, which in turn will lead to better performance, huh? I know, that was bad. Okay, let's hit that and then we'll go over there. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be spasming later. The split should look like this. Typically at SDSU, on day one, which would be a Monday, we would do an upper body day. Okay, so day one's upper body. Day two would be Wednesday, that's gonna be a jumps day. And then day three, typically we do on a Saturday, which is a big, huge leg lift. Okay, so that does get changed a little bit when we get in season. Now, the other aspect that we have to bring up is there's gonna be at least 2 days a week that we're probably gonna be sparring very, very hard, right? So we've gotta factor that in, and that's where we don't wanna do a really big leg day when we're actually doing, let's say, a really good grappling session the day before, because then the next day we're just gonna be absolutely toast, okay? So that's one thing that we have to bring in. The other thing is we have to have an endurance component, so there's gotta be at least 1 day a week that we work on some LSD, and that's gonna be like the wrestler's homework, okay? So that's gotta be something that you guys do. You go out for 60 to 90 minutes run, on the bike, on the assault bike, on the rower, 60 to 90 minutes. Then some of the interval work, we like to factor into what we're doing in the room. So those are some big issues there. Now, the first exercise that Lincoln just did was a power snatch. A lot of wrestlers struggle with power snatch. So you can replace this with like a trap bar jump, a dumbbell snatch, dumbbell jump, power clean. We do a lot of power cleans. But the big thing that I see, and that's actually one thing, bring up somebody like Cade DeVos, who just got 5th at NCAAs, he's like, he got really strong with his legs. He's taller, his upper body started to get super jacked up, and then as his leg strength improved and his explosiveness improved, he got better with wrestling, and he almost beat Keegan O'Toole in the freaking semis. So if we're looking at this as a power snatch, every D1 wrestler should be able to do a power snatch. It doesn't have to be crazy heavy. If we set up here and we're gonna do doubles, one thing that we'd like to do is, let's say 4 doubles. I'm gonna hit a double, then Lincoln's gotta come back and hit a double, and that's how we're gonna do almost like an on the minute or every 40 seconds. That way we get a lot of work done in a short period of time. It resembles almost like a scramble out on the mat, and it's still gonna be something that lights up our nervous system. So here, boom, boom, boom. That's me adding in my modification. Lincoln, get back here and hit that up for a fast double. Fast double, Lincoln. And now if we're hitting, Lincoln says I can't reach that far. If we're hitting a big double, okay, this should be moving in a VBT setting like 2 to 2.2 meters per second. So, good, okay. Let's put on the little reds. If we think through what this transfers to on the mat, now we're gonna have somebody, let's say that they power snatch body weight for reps, and then we see that their back squat's at a certain level or their vert is at a certain level. Typically what we've seen is that as verts get closer to 30 inches with wrestlers, which is actually pretty high for a wrestler, as they get close to that 30-inch mark, they're typically the ones that are hitting really, really good shots, very fast shots. They set them up well and they can execute very quickly on the mat. So that's where the power snatch comes in, is it's gonna help increase that vert. Baya! Lincoln, you go. Double. Move that fast, Lincoln. Good. Felt my lat a little from my little slip on the. So I'll hit this and then we'll do one more set at 60. And notice we're keeping this moving. So one of the cool things too is, like, you guys may have seen videos of our guys at South Dakota State lined up, hitting power cleans, hitting big lifts. And think about this. This is basically a mid-major school in the Big 12. We've had 7 All-Americans in the last 2-3 years. They're not getting the greatest recruits that they get at Penn State or at Iowa. So think about that from a performance perspective. Boom, boom, boom. One more, 60, Lincoln. Do it for the gram. I said do it for the gram, and I meant do it for YouTube. Oh, that'll take too long. Hit a big double. Lincoln loves long rest periods. Come on, think fast off the hip. Good. Come on, big finish now. Hips through, big punch, big punch. Good. I'll hit one more. So that first exercise, you gotta be explosive. We did that good warm up. Loosen up the upper back. My upper back's still a little stiff. Hit this, 4 doubles. Now we're getting into the next movement. So inside peak strength, this workout is known as an impulse workout. And a lot of people will say, hang on, you don't have to go yet. A lot of people will say, what's the difference between impulse day and athlete day? So athlete day would be like a traditional plyometric based day. That's a lot of what we do with SDSU on Wednesdays. Now, okay, so that's that split. In an impulse day, they're almost interchangeable, but on impulse day, we use a little bit more load and we'll do more contrast work. And in this case, I mentioned earlier about the knee behind the glute and how this is gonna help a wrestler. So we're gonna pair, in this case, we're doing contrast work, a single leg squat with jump step ups. I really, really like jump step ups for wrestlers at different heights, at different tempos, with double bounces, with height, with speed work. So let's say here, Lincoln, give me 3 on each leg. 1, touch and go, a little higher. Good. Now notice too, Lincoln's doing a good job using both arms. Sometimes wrestlers don't actually know how to jump with their arms. They'll actually do this, or they're sort of just like flailing. So try to get consistent with that because that can help with your output. Now, this would be a single leg squat, and we're using our single leg roller, available at garagestrength.com. Oh my gosh, I did not warm up enough here. Okay, so I'm gonna hit that 4. The other thing I like there, so again, the knee is behind the glute and I'm not fully locking out. I'm staying stable through my hips, through my trunk. Lincoln, let's put on 70K. I think this movement, okay, on site, this movement has the best indicator for high vertical jump, single leg squats. Our athletes that can single leg squat over 300 pounds, 92% of the time, will have a 30+ inch vert. So for wrestlers, okay, any combat athlete out there, single leg squat, wrestlers love sport specificity. Wrestlers love being like, doing everything super sport specific. And they love getting conned by people from like functional patterns. They love seeing all these things and like, I have to do it exactly this way because that's how I am out on the mat. And in reality, it's like, maybe that's okay to a point, but when we actually look at all sports, not just wrestling, all sports, if I'm getting you stronger in a unilateral position here, and you still wrestle a lot, you still get your technique work done a lot, this is functional. This is functional because you're gonna be able to apply it with your technique. Okay, so that's the big goal here. Okay, Lincoln, you go. So what I like to do when I'm setting this up, give me 4 on each, is now Lincoln's gonna hit this. I want him to hit this for 4 on each leg. Okay, so this is 70 kilos. Lincoln's going into 8th grade. Any wrestler should be able to hit 70 kilos, okay? He's doing this at 8 in the morning in Hey Dudes. I should tell everybody that Lincoln's actually named after Lincoln McElravy. Come on, Lincoln! What is that? Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit my set. Yo, Lincoln, give me some gram footage over there. I'm gonna hit my set. When I hit my set, Lincoln's gonna rest, okay? When Lincoln hits his jumps, I'm gonna rest. No, just hit record on that one. So we can go back and forth and we'll have about a minute to a minute and a half of rest between each movement. And so what this does is this helps set up a way for you to move through the workout relatively quickly, which wrestlers love, but also still gain enough strength that it'll transfer over to that functional pattern that you guys need. I feel like you guys are like this with like, it's such a weird sport with combat athletes in general. You guys just get conned by a lot of people that almost force you into like some, maybe we should delete this from the video, cultish type, cult of personalities that you just buy hook, line, and sinker into. Like Liver King. Is that what you said earlier, Jason? Liver King? I feel like the wrestling community got conned the most by Liver King. I know wrestlers that are like, oh, I have to eat grass-fed meat. I have to have like reverse osmosis water, otherwise I won't perform well because it'll disrupt my kidneys. It's like, okay, maybe, but do you think dudes in Dagestan are doing that? No, they're probably just eating like muskox. Okay, Lincoln, now you go on the jumps. You already went? Okay, put it on 80. We'll do one more set here for the world to see. Lincoln will load up 80, which will be about 178 pounds. I'm gonna hit this. Now, think about too, another movement that we like to use for assessments inside peak strength is gonna be like a broad jump. So for wrestlers, single leg squats, cleans, back squats, rope climbs, pull-ups, broad jump, vertical jump, 7-minute assault bike, honestly 30-minute assault bike. Those are great assessments that we use because we'll be able to see what's the endurance level of the individual, what's their explosiveness level, how much strength do they have. Those are really the key aspects inside of wrestling, is that when we break down our sport depth, we're looking at 4 types of qualities. And those 4 qualities would be endurance, speed, strength, explosiveness. Wrestlers need the most explosiveness, strength, and endurance. And so that's how we set that up. And then we did share that split so you can have at least 2 days a week that you're hitting that endurance. Now, Lincoln, another set of 4. Come on, real tight, let's go. Up, up, up. Come on. Good. Okay, now, what Lincoln just did too there, so one rule of thumb that we have here with GS, because this is the #1 squat exercise that we do with our athletes, is a single leg squat, is that, don't go yet, is that when we hit this, if an athlete falls once like that, not that he fell, but like rebalances, if they do that 1 time, we're good. If they do it twice, we terminate the set, we decrease weight.
Decrease me there. What?
Okay, so that's a question that we get asked a lot. That's how we determine when a set is terminated.
You have been terminated.
Oh, that felt nice on the glutes. So as a master's athlete, what we've got to do is we got to look at, okay, we have to do explosive work, we got to do strength work, and then there's going to be hypertrophy or hops, hypertrophy or jumps. Okay, so I like to go 3 days a week, a lower, an upper, and then an athlete impulse hops day, right? So that's where we're going to increase that overall explosiveness as an older dude. And we just got to monitor. If we go over 150 hops and you feel like crap, decrease it, especially as an older guy. So it's like, or older woman. So I think also go inside of our athletic fitness program inside Peak Strength. We'll put that as a second link down in the description. We got some more exercises to hit. Okay, so we're gonna go here. We're doing an easy, give me 10 yards. Easy backwards sled pull. We'll try and block the mic. Easy backwards sled pull. That doesn't mean your effort's easy, Lincoln. That means that yeah. So I wanna go drive through, feel the quad, feel the ankle. Okay, get to 10 yards. Get the sled to 10 yards. So, good. Okay, now take that off, hook that up for me because I'm gonna go. Now, we're gonna go, this is the pair. Easy, eccentric-less exercise. Okay, that's the sled pull backwards. So I'm gonna hit this, and then we're gonna pair it with what I think is one of the best plyos for wrestlers. So we're gonna go backwards, put this on. Honestly, sled work, and some things that we'll do with our SDSU guys is we'll do sled work where they might do sled work for a specific distance, and then they're taking shots on the way back as we get closer to season. So as much as I make fun of wrestlers for loving the sports specific stuff, I do think there's a point that you can start to bridge that in. Now, Lincoln's gonna hit single leg bounds for 15 yards.
One leg?
You want me to demonstrate so I can show you how much more explosive I am as a 41-year-old father to you? Yeah. So this would be one of the most intense plyos that you can do. And I do believe that this is phenomenal for wrestling. And if you're watching this and you're an athlete who does sprints, maybe you play football and you wrestle, this is gonna be where you see a lot of increase in your speed. So we're here. And try to video how many strides you take, and then each one try and improve. And sometimes I get a little toey here. Try and land a little bit more flat-footed with the foot under the waist, Lincoln. Good, okay. One thing talking with Stu McMillan about was how well you can handle eccentric. What is your eccentric force capacity? It's gonna determine how much speed you can, or how much force you can then put back into the ground to get speed reaction. So in this case, this is where we're training that, okay? And on a mat, you're gonna push into the mat and you'll have give. So it's a little different. The ground reaction force is gonna be different because it's a softer surface. So being really good at something like this does carry over very, very well. Okay, so we're gonna go through this 4 times, and then we're going to the last part, which is almost like a little finisher, which I do think is great for wrestlers. Cameraman just did a really good job here. He's like, wrestling is a violent sport, and you guys don't wanna do jumps because you're not good at them. So you wanna quote Jocko Willink, you wanna quote David Goggins, you wanna go all in on all of these different charlatans that'll tell you you don't have to lift heavy weights, and you love to do that. But guess what? If I'm sprinting down the track, every time that I put my foot down into the ground, I'm striking the ground. Boom, 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 boom. It's just like boxing. My ankle is just like the wrist as I'm throwing a punch. I'm not gonna throw a punch like this because I'll break my wrist. So our ankles have to be stiff. We have to be good at jumping. If I'm rolling my ankle and not putting force into my ankle, into the ground, into the mat, and I'm not getting better at that because I don't want to do it, because I watch some guy do battle ropes and then some other sport specific thing. This will help you put more force into the mat, which will then help you take a faster shot, which will then help you get into a better position to then get a takedown in overtime and win and have your hand raised. So when we get better at jumps, we've got to think about the violence that we're putting into the ground. Okay, be stiff in the ankle, be explosive from the ankle, the knee, and the hip, and that will transfer very, very well. Let it swing. Sit through the heel more on the way down. Good. Good. Okay, so Lincoln's got a 70. Yo, come on, keep going. What's that face for? You got to do 17. No, I said keep going. I never said stop. We can go on the replay for that one. Man, I wish we had a camera at home, like a replay camera. So when
you said something that made me stop.
Okay, give me 9 more. So we want to see, Lincoln's got a 70. I know you guys are going to use like 35 because you're like, I want to get big. I want to go up a weight class. Gosh, I'm really attacking all the wrestlers. They're going to get upset and cancel me because they're all stuff-like. So if we're going here, Lincoln's got a 70. The best way to finish this workout out for impulse, and we want to think through the hip here, squeeze the glute at the top, don't lean back as much, so try to stay upright with the trunk. Here, look at me, Lincoln. Stay upright with the trunk while the hips come through. So, because I'm old and I'm a master's Lincoln, I don't have to do as much weight. But I want to think, sit back and react. Sit back and react. Sit back, react. Okay, sit back, boom. And now, the best part here is that I'm going to strengthen my lower back, my glutes, hamstrings, right? I'm doing everything really, really well. I'm going to skyrocket my heart rate. I'm finishing off this workout, Lincoln. You go, what are you going to throw up or something?
No, I don't know. I feel good.
Lincoln had too much C4.
Or just not enough water.
So we'll go through this 17, 17, 17, 17. We're gonna do 5 sets. We're not gonna actually do 5 sets for the video. We'll just do 5 sets for you and I. And this is gonna be a nice icing on the cake to finish off this wrestling workout. So the big thing, to recap, guys, go back to the warm-up. You saw the warm-up. We gave you the split, okay? We went over the split. We gave you unique exercises that you can use to help transfer to become more explosive, more athletic for a wrestler. We're even giving you how to finish that workout off with a little bit of endurance that's gonna help strengthen that posterior chain, which ultimately is gonna lead to you being a better wrestler. Remember, the first link down below is our wrestling program inside of Peak Strength. You can click that link down below, head over to peakstrength.app, the Google Play Store, or the Apple iOS Store. Make sure you select wrestler. If you like content like this, click on this card right here, because remember, freaks, if you want to become an NCAA All-American, you've always got to cultivate your power. Peace. Violence. Shut up.